Lance Hall here for Let's Discuss with Lance Hall. Happy to welcome Pete, guitarist, vocalist for the Finnish band Ensiferum today to the program. How you doing, Pete?
So far so good.
Getting
a bunch of interviews, and you are my last one for tonight.
I will try and make it a good one then. I want you to end on a good note, so.
Yeah, high note, please. High note.
Absolutely. New album, is it called Thalassic? Do I have that right?
Yes, you do.
Coming out July 10th on Metal Blade. This is the band's 8th album. First album, though, with a bit of a theme to it.
That is correct also.
Cool. And relating to the theme is the title, Thalassic, which is of or relating to the sea, and there's a lot of sea-related stuff on this album.
Yes.
Okay.
That's the case on this album now.
All right. It's been 3 years since Topaz. And this album was sort of born out of some of the interviews for that, because there were people who thought that album had a bit of a theme to it.
Could say, yeah.
Okay.
Well, the idea for this Thalassic album came, I think, about 2 years ago or something like that.
Okay.
And, well, finally we got a theme album done.
And it's a great album.
Thank you.
Let's talk a little bit first about, it was recorded and produced Sonic Pump Studios, correct?
Yes.
And first name is Johnny, Janne, and I'm not even going to try this last name.
Yeah, Janne Joutsen.
Okay. He worked with you back in 2007 and 2009 on Victory Songs and From Afar. So how was it to go back and work with him on this?
It was awesome. It was like we never missed a beat with this man. You know,
Yeah.
He's still his usual self, so he was kicking our butts a lot on studio.
Excellent. You also welcomed a new keyboard player and clean vocalist in Pekka.
Yes, we did.
How did that come about?
It was a few years ago when we were searching for a new guy for keyboards. We also wanted to have a strong, clean vocalist, preferably in the same package, and we found this guy, and he was very convincing, and we really love his voice, so well, he was pretty much hired on the spot.
Very cool. You also had an old friend, is it Miko do orchestration on this album?
Yes, the same guy who has been working with us for orchestration since From Afar.
And violinist, folk instrumentalist, is it Lasse?
Yeah, Lasse.
And he has worked with you as well.
He has. He's very awesome, dude.
Cool.
Like scary good, dude.
Yeah. And then of course the cover artwork was just fantastic, and I'm going to let you go with the name of the artist that created the artwork for you.
I'm gonna go only with the first name also.
Okay.
Gila.
Okay.
Yeah, his last name I'm not even gonna go for that one.
All right. Fantastic. Was this something the band came up with and gave to him to try and come up with something, or did he do this with the theme from the album? How did the artwork come about?
I think he also got some inspiration from the lyrics and different themes for the album. We wanted to have a spectacular monster, at least on the cover, and he went from that one. So, and he did one hell of a job again with the cover art.
Yeah, very, very cool stuff. Let's jump into this album. I played it a couple of times over the past few days to get a feel for it. Fantastic music on it. It's just a fantastic body of work here, Pete, I've got to tell you.
Thank you.
The opening track, Seafarer's Dream, almost a cinema-type opening. I could see myself out on the ship and, you know, up front and the waves, and I could feel the waves and smell the sea air and everything. Just a great opening.
Thank you.
Was this, I mean, obviously everything was by design, but who came up with that idea for the opening?
That's a really good question, because the original thought that we're not going to have an intro on this album.
Okay.
Yeah, so that pretty much came along on the fly in the studio, that maybe it would be better to have an intro.
Mm-hmm.
I think that is mostly written by our bass player, Sammy.
Okay. And then we jump into Rum Women Victory, of which, of course, you have the lyric video out for. Just a great track. Talks about everything that's good in life, rum and victory and women and all that.
Mm-hmm.
In these crazy times with everything, did you have a chance to shoot any videos for any of the songs before anything came out, or?
We actually shot the video a week ago.
Okay.
So it's right now under construction. So at the editing board, and it will come out in June.
Oh, excellent. Excellent. Look forward to that then. And then, as I was talking just before we started recording here, parts of this album were almost like a history lesson for me. I learned a lot of stuff. I know I'm going to mispronounce this because I always do. Is it Andromeda?
Yeah, I'll go with that one too.
Okay. Based on Greek mythology, she was, of course, the daughter of, is it Cepheus and Cassiopeia?
As far as I know, yeah.
Okay. Excuse me. Who you guys always had to do a lot of research and stuff. Who's the history buff in the band to come up with the lyrics and the ideas of all this?
That guilty person would be our bass player, Mr. Sami Hinkka. He had this theme album concept in his head, and he basically did all the research and the lyrics for the whole album. So he did a lot of job for this one.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, I'm just reading the story, of how, their daughter got, I'm trying to look at my notes here, was put into, basically tempted to get eaten by a sea monster, I guess, and then was rescued. Quite a story there. What is it like to take a story like that and put music to it?
Well, it's a different type of a challenge in a way.
Yeah.
But in Ensiferum's case, we always do the music first, and then we fit the lyrics.
Okay.
Lyrics to the music. But I think also on this one, like our bass player said that the music also maybe like subconsciously had come up also with this water sea theme. Maybe a little bit on that one can be found here and there, but I don't know, it's kind of weird to actually be talking about a theme album since this is the first one what we've done. So we're not so familiar with it yet.
Yeah. How was it any different, say, coming up with the music and stuff as opposed to a regular album?
Could say yeah, since we have the new guy Becca Martin on clean vocals and keyboard. So he brought totally new stuff to the band, and we gave him a lot of responsibility for the in the songs. He has a lot of vocal parts, and he did one hell of a job. So in that way, we wanted to keep the songs a little bit shorter and more punch in the face type of like more direct and compact. We cut off a lot of parts which we thought like didn't serve any bigger purpose in the songs and stuff like that. So that one changed a little bit.
I did notice that, the songs for the majority of the songs were, 4 minutes or so. You had a couple longer ones on here, but yeah, definitely compact is a great word. How about when it came to like sequencing the album? Who was in charge of that? Because obviously you wanted to sort of give it an ebb and a flow.
That is always the tricky question. We do the songs ready, and then we spend like days and almost weeks figuring out what is the correct order to keep a good flow in the album. But in the end, we all give out our opinions about that one, and we usually end up in a good end result that everybody's happy with it.
Another song on here, Defense of the Sampo. Here was where I got quite a lesson as well. Sampo is a magical artifact based on a 1896 painting. It's an illustration of a passage from the uh, Kalevala, which is
Yeah,
a famous
Kalevala.
a,
Yes.
a famous Finnish literature type stuff.
Yes, it is.
Again, great themes and great everything. As I'm reading the titles and listening to the music, I'm like, well, what's this about? What's this about? And as I got deeper and deeper into it, it was a great history lesson. Again, you got to thank Sammy for that.
I'll let him know.
The other part I liked in that tune, Defense of the Sampo, was in the middle part, there's sort of a breather part where you've almost got like some orchestration and stuff in there. And when it got to that part, it almost reminded me of music like you would hear over here in an American Western, from like the 50s or the 60s, a Western type movie, which I thought was very, very cool. Is that something else you try to do, is give a little breathing space every once in a while in some of the songs?
Yeah, of course. It also gives new perspective for the songs and keep it interesting while you're listening to the whole album throughout.
Yeah.
You get some really good parts to remember and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. The other lesson I learned was in the song for Sirens. A siren is a beautiful woman who sings and lures the ship's captains to smash their ships on the rocks. Again, fascinating stuff.
Yeah, that is a nasty one.
Yeah, definitely. And then probably my favorite track on the album was One with the Sea. A little bit slower, powerful. My note here said epic. How did that one come about? That's the one I'm most interested in asking you about.
Well, I can't say that much about the lyrics, and Sami wrote those ones, like the whole thing for the album, and he also likes to keep his lyrics close to his chest,
sure.
so the listeners can, figure their own point of view,
exactly,
relate to the lyrics on their own way, and not given a certain way to look at it.
Sure. How about the musical element of that song?
Well, it was destined to be the kind of like the heaviest and slowest song of the album.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's a really awesome song.
Yeah, like I said, it was easily my favorite. It was just a nice slow. Boy, I don't even know if I could compare it. Maybe like a Sabbath around the Heaven and Hell album, maybe.
I would go somewhere like that.
Somewhere in that vein. Really, really good stuff. And then you came out of that into Midsummer Magic, which was a very light tune. I could see dancing around to a fire with this. It's what I'd call over here a good old-fashioned toe tapper. Great track.
On that one, yes.
Yeah. And was that just sort of like, okay, we've had our epic heavy moment here, let's lighten things up and have some fun?
Basically, yes.
Yeah.
There always needs to be this cheery, we would call that one a beer song.
Yes, absolutely. I agree with you 100%.
A toe-tapping beer song.
Yes. And then, of course, the last song, Cold Northland, another epic track. And then on the fade out, you almost go back into, where you started on the intro with the water and the ships, and you can almost feel yourself sailing off again. Just a great, well-rounded album. You guys have got to be excited to get this thing out.
Yes, we are. Very much looking forward till July 10th.
Mm-hmm. And hopefully, maybe things will be straightened around enough to do any type of touring. I mean, obviously, the whole world is sort of on pause right now. How is Ensiferum and everybody coping with this?
We're doing okay. It could be better. We lost 16 festival shows for this summer, so that's a bit of a bummer.
Yeah.
And the first show was supposed to be this weekend in Vienna, Austria. So feeling a little bit bummed about that one, of course, because right now that nobody cannot play a show, I would really love to jump on a plane and play a show, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Have you guys been able to get together at all, or are you doing the whole social distancing thing and just, FaceTiming or whatever?
We've been getting together a couple of times now, rehearsing, checking out the new songs, since after the studio was done, we decided to take some time off, like usual.
Mm-hmm.
And then this corona thing came along and made this break a little bit longer than expected.
Yeah.
And we've been hanging out at the rehearsal place a couple of times, checking out the new songs, like how did they go, like learning them again, basically.
Yeah.
And well, we were shooting the new music video a week ago, and we're also working on a stream show, so these ones are in the works right now.
Nice. Has there been any thought with this being a theme album to playing it start to finish all in its entirety?
That one is still also under a huge question mark. We'll see about that one. That would be a very cool thing to do, though.
Yeah, be very ambitious. Come out and open with some well-known songs, and then play this in its entirety, and then close out, with some more. That'd be pretty cool. Very cool. You said your favorite track on it is One with the Sea?
That is one of my favorites, yes.
Yeah. Do you have another one that you really liked?
I really do like the first single, what we brought out, the Rum, Women and Victory. That is an awesome song to play.
Yeah.
I like that one.
A lot of fun. Who influenced you along the way on guitar?
Ooh, that's a good one. Okay, gotta ask, like, do we go back in time when I was picking up the guitar, or right now at this?
Let's go one of each. Who maybe influenced you to pick up the guitar, and then who sort of influenced you on this album?
Well, I gotta blame Slayer for me to pick up a guitar.
Mm-hmm.
Slayer and Megadeth, I'll put those two. Dave Mustaine and Jeff Hanneman and Kerry King.
Yeah.
These three guys are to blame.
Okay. And how about evolving into now? Who do you enjoy now that influence you and inspires you?
Well, I still have to say the same three guys.
Yeah?
Yeah, they are very unique and awesome in their own way.
Mm.
And, well, of course, I got to pull in Marty Friedman also.
Mm-hmm.
He played in Megadeth for many years, and that guy is just, I don't know, freaking amazing.
Yeah. Definitely. Does everyone sort of write equally for the band, or, say like you bring in a riff, or somebody brings in, a bass part or a drum part? How do the songs evolve?
Well, the main composer is Marcus, the founder member of the band.
Mm-hmm.
He is very much responsible for all the music.
Okay.
So he brings in his ideas, and we all sit down at the rehearsal room and fill in whatever his wishes are, and then we check out how it sounds and play around and roll around and try everything and anything. All the crazy ideas we'll go through and pick up basically from there,
Very cool. Obviously, when you go to the studios, everyone is there together, maybe not necessarily playing in the same room, but you're there. This isn't sort of a band or an album that you put together with someone in one part of the country and someone in another part, and you're sharing files and stuff. You're all there together, putting it together, correct?
Yes, very correct, yes.
Okay. Talking with Pete, guitarist for Ensiferum, new album Thalassic, out July 10th on Metal Blade. I'm very glad I got to listen to an advance copy of this. This is very, very good stuff. Like I said, your first themed album. Really, really good work, Pete. I think the world's going to be pretty excited to hear this album.
Awesome. That is very nice to hear, man.
I always like to end my interviews with just some fun questions. I'm hoping these are questions that you've never even been asked before. Does it sound good?
That sounds epically awesome, man.
All right. If there was a TV show that you could have an Ensiferum song placed in, what television show would you pick?
Ooh, I think we would need to go to some Viking themed thing.
Okay.
Maybe Vikings.
Yep. Sounds good. Excellent.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite superhero? As in, like, Superman or Batman?
Yeah. I think I gotta go with Batman on this one.
All right. How about your favorite villain? Let's turn the tables. Favorite villain.
I love Joker.
Okay. Favorite toy growing up as a child?
Favorite toy. I remember I was a huge fan of He-Man and Ghostbusters.
All right, there we go.
Yeah.
If you could go back in time and eat one of your mom's home-cooked meals from your childhood, what would you have her cook?
Mashed potatoes and meatballs.
All right, excellent. Let's see. Would you rather be on a desert island alone or with someone who never stopped talking?
Alone.
Alone?
Yeah.
All right.
Otherwise, I would be guilty of murder. Unless, well, if I'm alone there, nobody knows, so I'm kind of not guilty.
Okay. Is there something you've always wanted to learn how to do but just never had the time? But you said, man, if I ever had the time, I would love to learn how to do this.
To play saxophone.
Really? Play saxophone?
Yeah.
Excellent.
That is the world's most sexiest instrument.
My son plays the saxophone, so he's only in the 6th grade, so I'll have to tell him that.
Yeah.
If you could blink and appear anywhere, where would you like to be?
I would like to be on a stage playing a show right now.
Good answer. Good answer. Last one, and this is the one we have the most fun with. If they were to make a movie of your life, what actor would you have play you in the movie? And it's your life, your movie, you can pick anyone.
Definitely not Ben Affleck.
Okay.
I have no idea.
Okay.
I have no idea on that one, dude.
All right, but we'll go definitely not Ben.
Yeah, definitely not Ben Affleck.
Okay. Last question, just to get us back to music. If a youngster came up to you, a young man, a young lady, and said, Pete, when I grow up, I want to be a guitarist in a rock and roll band, what advice would you give them to get them there? What makes a great guitarist in a rock and roll band?
Well, first of all, you got to find the right persons to rock with you, and find your own thing and stick to it.
Very good. Very good advice. The band is Ensiferum. We've been talking with Pete, guitarist, vocalist for Ensiferum. Once again, their new album, Tholastic, comes out July 10th on Metal Blade. We'll look for that next video you said in June.
Yeah.
And you can check out the current video for Rum, Women, and Victory on YouTube. And I can't wait to see the next one. It's going to be epic. And hopefully everything gets back to normal, Pete. And we can all get back to doing what we do best. And that's you being on stage and me being in an audience watching you.
Awesome. We're crossing our fingers to that one.
Absolutely. Best of luck, Pete. Thank you very much for taking my call tonight.
Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
Bye.